Good morning to all. In today's lecture, we will see conduction analogy problem. Now, to solve this kind of problem, we need the 3 to 4 formula, and simple formula are there. First is the thermal resistance for the slab. This is B by Ka. Second is thermal resistance for the pipe. This is ln of R1 by R0. That is Ri means it is the internal radius, RO means outer radius, divided by 2 pi KL. Since K it is the thermal conductivity of that pipe material and L it is the length of pipe. Then after finding the thermal resistance, you can easily calculate the heat flow by using Q is equals to T1 minus T2 divided by thermal resistance. Okay. Also, sometimes they ask about overall heat transfer coefficient U. Now that U, that is UA, is equals to 1 by RTH. This is its formula. Now that U is the overall heat transfer coefficient. Now question arises, why we are having that overall heat transfer coefficient? It's because in system there are the 2 or more types of conductivities, also the 2 or more types of convective heat transfer coefficients. Okay, so there is one value which defines the all these kind of conductivities and convective coefficients. So for that we are using the U. Okay, in problem you can get idea about the overall heat transfer coefficient. Now this kind of problem is solved by using these steps. Okay, now steps are very simple. Okay, first step is what? Read the problem carefully and write down the given data. And this is the common process for solving the each and every problem. Also, second step is simultaneously draw the schematic figure and put the given data in it. Okay, it is very important step. If you draw the proper figure and write down given data, then you can understand 90% of problem and you already achieve the solution or how we get the solution. Okay, so remember that writing the given data and putting it in figure, it is very much important. Okay, without drawing figure you can't solve the heat transfer problems. Now third one, put the all thermal resistance in the system. Okay, it means what? After schematic figure we have to draw the electric circuit. Okay, that is analogical electric circuit. Now in that circuit we can put all thermal resistance, also that thermal resistance in the our previous schematic figure. Okay, in step number 4, draw electric circuit, that same one, and put the thermal resistances along with its formula. Okay, now why we are putting the formula in it? Because due to this step the solution becomes easier. Then in solution you have to just take that formula and put it inside the thermal resistance, so you can calculate the thermal resistance easily. Okay, so 60% problem we can done in that figure, electric circuit figure and schematic figure only. Okay, then in fifth step, calculate the thermal resistance. Sixth step, calculate the heat flow. Now remember that if asked. Okay, also 7, calculate the overall heat transfer coefficient is if asked. Okay, now last step is sometimes they ask about the inside surface resistance in wall. Okay, in problem we will see that how we can calculate it. Okay, so directly go towards the problem. So this is our problem. Now in problem they are giving some values, some temperatures, and so conductivity and coefficients of convections. Okay, now properly read the problem and put it in the given data. Okay, now a composite wall consists of 3 layers of thickness, 300 mm, 200 mm and 100 mm. Okay, so we can put given data, that is thickness means B. So first wall B1 equals to 300 mm, B2 equals to 200 mm, B3 equals to 100 mm. with the thermal conductivities 1.5, 3.5 and 0.256. Okay, we will put in K1, K2, K3, so on. Now inside surface is exposed to the gases of 1200 centigrade. Okay, now before the first wall we have the temperature T1. Okay, now simultaneously reading the problem and writing the given data, we have to draw the figure as well. Now in figure we will draw the 3 slabs. You can see this is the first one, this is second one, and this is third one. So we are having 3 slabs having thickness B1, B2, B3. Now B1 is 300 mm, so it means that 0.3 meter, because our conductivity is in watt per meter Kelvin or watt per meter degree centigrade. That's why we have to keep the thickness also is in meter. Okay, so after putting that 0.3 meter, 0.2 meter, 0.1 meter inside figure, we are having inside surface is exposed to the 1200 degree centigrade. Okay, now they are in problem, they tell us that the inside surface is exposed to the gases. Okay, now that is not surface temperature, it is the gas temperature given. Okay, so it means that we are having one wall. Now inside the wall we are having the gases at 1200 degree centigrade, and outside there is some another temperature. Okay, so there must be temperature drop from that gases to the surface of wall. So there is present some sort of gases in between actual temperature of gas and the surface. Now because of that gas present or air present or hot gases present, we are getting convection there. Now in problem they are also tell that inside surface exposed to the gases at 1200 degree centigrade with convective heat transfer coefficient 30 watt per meter square Kelvin. Okay, so we are putting T1 as shown in figure, and after T1 we are having H1. H1 is convective heat transfer coefficient. Okay, I hope you understand it. Then the temperature of air at outer side, so similar one, for outside of the wall there is air present, its air temperature is 30 degree. Okay, so there is also convection in between the surface and that air, so with convective heat transfer coefficient 10 watt. So on right hand side we are putting one point as T2, and in between T2 and wall surface we are having H2. H2, it is the convective heat transfer coefficient outside. Okay, now if the temperature of at a outside surface wall is given is 180 degree centigrade, it means that at wall we are having, so here somewhat here we are having temperature 180. Okay, that dot shows the temperature 180 before H2. Now calculate the temperature and other surface of wall and the rate of heat transfer and overall heat transfer coefficient. Okay, now after putting given data and that figure, you must know that how many resistance present in the system. Okay, now in between the T1 and T2, from T1, that is 1200 degree centigrade, we are having hot gases, so we are having convection. So here we are having convection. Okay, then at K1 at wall we are having conduction. Okay, so let us say conduction denoted by O, conduction. Then at R3 we are having the conduction. Then at K3 we are having the conduction. After that convective heat transfer coefficient is present, that's why convection. Okay, so number of processes are equals to C is equals C O O O C, that is convection, conduction, 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 convection. Now total number of processes are 5. Now as number of processes are equals to number of thermal resistances inside the system. Okay, so for H1 we are putting R1, K1, R2, K2, R3, K3, R4 and H2, R5. So as 5 processes, 5 thermal coefficients, that's why we are getting the 5 resistance in between in between T1 to T2. Okay, so we can understand that we are having the 2 nodes T1 and T2, and in between these 2 nodes 5 resistance are generated, 1 2 3 4 5, and through that resistances we are having the heat flow Q. So we can easily draw the electric circuit here. So in electric circuit, we are having two nodes, T1 to T2. These are the nodes T1 to T2. Now after T1 we are having R1 here. So after T1 here we are having R1, then R2, then R3, R4 and R5. Okay, so as in schematic figure, R1, R2, R3, R4, R5 are in series. That's why in also electric figure, electric circuit, it is in series. Okay, now because of that circuit completion, we are getting the heat transfer Q. Okay, it is simple. Now remember that in steps we will say that after putting R1, R2, R3, R4, R5 inside the circuit, we have to write its formula, because after simplification, because in solution it problem get too much simplified because of this formula. So for R1 it is a convective heat transfer. That's why R1 equals to 1 by H1A. A is the perpendicular area, and that area is this side area of that surface. Okay, from this to this. So this perpendicular area is A. Now, so R1 equals to 1 divided by H1A. R2, it is conductive. That's why B1, respective thickness B1 divided by K1A. R3 equals to B2 divided by K2A. R4 equals to B3 by K3A, and R5 equals to 1 divided by H2A. Okay, simple. For convection, we are having formula thermal resistance 1 divided by HA, and for conduction we are having formula B by Ka. Okay, just we have to put the respective thicknesses and values of H1 and H2. Okay, so it's quite simple. After that, problem becomes too much easy. The important step is only in problem. The important step is only put this given data inside the schematic figure and electric circuit. Okay, if you draw these two figures and given data, then 90% problems are over. So we have to just put the formula and find the answer, and formula are too much simple. That is, resistance are in series, and Q is equals to T1 minus T2 divided by thermal resistance. Okay, normally in 90% formula they are asking only about Q and thermal resistance. In rare case they are asking about the U, internal surface resistance, and so on. Okay, so in next step we have to find the thermal resistance. Now that thermal resistance, here all resistance are in series. That's why summation of RTH equals to R1 plus R2 plus R3 plus R4 plus R5. Now already we are having the formulas for that R1, R2, R3, so on. So we will put the formula, then put the values from given data, and we are getting the answer. Summation of RTH equals to 0.7811 divided by A. Okay, now why that A comes? Since they are not giving the area A, that's why we are keeping that area as it is. Okay, now in the problem they are asking rate of heat transfer. Now if area is not given, then we can find the value of Q by A, and if area is given, then find the value of Q. Okay, both are quite same. So we are getting RTH 0.7811 divided by A. This is our the thermal resistance. Now after that, thermal resistance, find the value of Q. So heat flow Q is equals to T1 minus T2 divided by summation of RTH. Put the values. Q is equals to 1200 minus 30 divided by 0.7811 divided by A. So therefore Q is equals to, we will take that area towards left hand side. So Q by A equals to 1497.88 watt per meter square. Okay, If we have the value of area, then Q is comes in under the watt only. Okay, but it's okay if we find the value of Q by A. Now next they are asking about the calculate the temperature of other surfaces of wall. Now, what are the other surfaces? We are having, this is one surface, this 2, 3 and 4. Okay, now fourth one we are having value 180 already given. Now we have to find the value of TS1, that TS2, TS3 and so on. Okay, now it's also easy. It is also easy. So before that, first we will erase all. Before that we have to find the value of overall heat transfer coefficient. U is equals to UA equals to 1 by summation of RTH, thermal resistance. So U is equals to 1.280. Okay, so it is just putting the values inside the formula. The important step is to find the thermal resistance. Now surface temperatures. Now let us say surface temperatures are at, as shown in figure, the orange circles shows the surface resistance. Okay, now for that, to find the value of TS1, let us say this is our TS1, this is our TS1. So for the TS1 we have to consider only left hand side circuit. Okay, so that T1 to TS1. Now between T1 to TS1 we are having resistance only R, so we will take only this circuit. Okay, so here we are getting Q is equals to T1, that T1 minus TS1 divided by, in between T1 and TS1 we are only having the 1 by H1A, that is R1. So Q is equals to T1 minus TS1 divided by R1. So after that Q is equals to 1200 minus TS1 divided by value of R1. So as we are knowing the value of Q by A, so after putting the values we can get TS1 equals to 1150.1206 degree centigrade. Okay, now check that your answer is correct. Your answer is correct only if the value of surface resistance TS1 is less than that T1. Okay, value of TS1 must be less than T1, because as you go from left to right, simultaneously values of temperatures are decreasing. Okay, so for next, for TS2, TS3 and TS4 we can calculate by considering the respective circuit. It means that for TS2, so this is our TS2. For TS2 you can create the circuit from TS1 to, or for TS2 we can consider the circuit, you can consider this circuit, this one, T1 to TS2. So inside this we are having two resistance, this is R1 and R2. Use the formula. Okay, just change the resistance R1 plus R2 and Q is equals to T1 minus TS2. You can get the value of TS2. Similarly for TS3, similar for TS4. Okay, now for TS4 you already know the value. Okay, so for TS3 you can take TS2 and TS4 as a reference. Okay, as inside the problem we are having TS4 equals to 180 degree centigrade. Simple one. So in electrical analogy problem, the major thing is to only put the figure correctly. If you put the figure correctly, then you can easily get the answer. And always remember that it's our left hand side is always hot side, right hand side is always cold side. Okay, normally in problem they are telling us that left is hot, right is cold. If not, then again you have to go same way. Left is hot and right is cold. Okay, since because due to this the complications of problem is minimized 80%. Okay, so by using the same process you can solve any kind of problem. Okay, so always remember that from left to right, hot to cold. Okay, now in fridge, in case of refrigerator or fridge, first they say that inside temperature is somewhat 5 degree and outside air temperature is 25-30 degree. Okay, correct. As per the refrigeration process, inside temperature of refrigerator is always lower than the outside, so inside temperature becomes cold side and outside temperature becomes hot side. Now still then we have to take the wall of left hand side wall of the that fridge. That's why in left we are getting the hot fluid, that is a hot atmosphere, and right hand becomes the inside of that fridge, that is cold. Okay, so complications are get minimized. Always our heat flow from Q is from left to right, then problem becomes simple. Okay, I hope you understand everything in it. It is quite simple, just practice 2 to 3 problems, then it becomes easy for you. Okay. Thank you.